What's up? I'm Cliff Chance, and I'm here to answer the question, is it any good? With this video, we're going to talk about the final X-Men film under Fox, Dark Phoenix. This film starts off in the 70s when Jean Grey's still a little girl. She causes a wreck with her parents, causes a wreck while her parents are driving, and Charles Xavier comes in and finds out about her and blocks out that memory from her. We jumps to 1992, where she is older, obviously, and they go out. The X-Men go out into space to help save a space shuttle. And while they're there, they get attacked by or get hit by what they think is a solar flare, and it turns out to be the Phoenix Force, and it gets absorbed into Jean Grey, and she becomes the Phoenix. And then that's where everything falls apart. Much like this movie is much like the franchise that it is a part of. There are some good things about it, just like there's some good movies in the franchise, and then there's a lot of bad, just like there's a lot of bad in the movies. One of the few good things about this movie is Michael Fassbender as Magneto. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and he's always done a good job with this character. He's really fun to watch. He's one of the, and just like Ian McKellen was before him, he does a good job where you actually kind of agree with some of the stuff that the villain does more than the heroes. He's just more, he's one of the times where the villain is more interesting than the heroes, in my opinion. One of the other good things, for the most part, some of the action in this movie is pretty cool. Them rescuing the astronauts in the shuttle at the beginning is really cool. It's one of the few times Quicksilver has to shine in this movie, and that's really about it. Now on to the bad. A lot of the actors in this movie, you could tell that they already know that this is the last time playing this character, so some of them kind of felt like they were phoning it in. As much as I've always been a fan of her, Jennifer Lawrence for me, just did not enjoy her in this movie. The villain in this movie, it's an alien race who's trying to use the Phoenix Force to bring about to restart their race and take over the Earth. They're just very forgettable, just like in Apocalypse with Oscar Isaacs playing an emotionless character there. In this one you have another great actor or actress just playing this emotionless character. They just very forgettable with Jessica Chastain. This might be some of the worst comic book villains I've seen in the past couple movies with these X-Men franchises. They also didn't utilize any of their main characters. At first you think that they're going to, but then they never do. You don't really see Storm that much. She doesn't use her powers until the very end of the movie. Even the Phoenix doesn't. Even when Jean Grey becomes a Phoenix, she uses her powers a little bit, but she never actually goes full force with it until the very end of the movie. And when that happens, something I'll talk about in just a few minutes, kind of ruins that whole thing. They don't use Quicksilver at all, and he's been the best part of the past two movies. He's had the best scenes. I know he's not very comic book accurate in here. I think they do a better job in Age of Ultron with as far as his personality and everything goes with how he is in the comics. But you can't deny that he had the best scenes in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. And they don't even use him. He's in the movie for 10 minutes. And then still sticking with kind of Quicksilver, they don't resolve anything from other movies. Timelines are all messed up, but one of the things with Quicksilver that they hinted at in Days of Future Past was that his dad was Magneto. He even talks about it in Apocalypse. And then that doesn't even get brought up in this movie at all. Which I was kind of hoping maybe give a conclusion to that. Nope, not at all. This movie felt like a string of just bad copies from other X-Men movies. Professor X blocking something from Jean Grey's mind makes her go crazy whenever she gets this full power. The X-Men, being divided and then having to team back up to stop the main villain of the movie. That's happened in several other movies. Even Magneto finding peace and then being brought back into everything just like in Apocalypse. And then the special effects in this movie were bad. They were not consistent at all. The CGI was terrible, and that really takes you out of some of the cooler action scenes in this movie. Especially at the end when the Phoenix Force kind of just goes crazy and she uses the full power of it. That scene plays out with bad slow mo and just terrible special effects. And then one of my biggest things about this movie is I'm not going to say who, in case you didn't pick up on in the trailers, but there's a death in this movie that they already ruined with the trailers. And like in the like so when that scene came up, and I was like, okay, well this character's about to die. So it wasn't even surprising. It was just the trailers ruined it. All in all, I don't think it's the worst X-Men movie. I still gonna give that one to the first Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins. But it's down at the bottom. I don't think it's any better or worse of a Phoenix story than Last Stand was. Both of those movies are a movie with too many other plots going on that nothing just comes to. This movie is very boring to me. So, like, you have action at the beginning, and then you don't really have anything until the end. And like I said, even some of those action scenes are just ruined with bad special effects. All in all, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel. Is it any good? And I'm Cliff Chance. Thank you.